Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Now, if you just joined us, we're talking about these group of home invaders that were robbing houses in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. And we're asking, what do you think they should get? Charlamagne believes they should get 25 to life. I think it should be a little less than that.
We should be presented with
10 years.
You should be presented with 25 to life. Like, the sentence has to be harsh. And the reason the sentence has to be harsh is because it'll make people think twice about committing these crimes. I mean, the reality is, in order to prevent things like home invasions or any kind of crime, you just have to provide more resources for the youth. You know what I'm saying? You got to provide more opportunity, for the youth. That's number one. But for those who choose to still commit those crimes, even though they have more than enough examples to see none of this works out for them, you got to make an example out of them.
And
man.
I think it depends on a case by case. Like the 33-year-old ringleader who they're looking for that put these kids up to it, yes. But I think if you're a 17-year-old kid, you've never been in trouble before, you fell into something that was completely wrong, I wouldn't give you 25 years to life for that.
By the grace of God, nobody's been hurt in these situations. I think
one person did get
shot.
One
person got shot and wounded.
Seriously wounded.
But think about the crime. Kicking in someone's door, knowing a family is in there, not knowing if it's kids, not knowing if it's older people, whatever. You got guns. That's a different type of premeditated evil, man. You got to make an example out of people like that.
Yeah, somebody kicked down my door. I'm firing everything that I have, and I got a bunch of them, and then I'll figure it out later.
So if you can throw everything in the kitchen sink at the kids, how come the court system can't? Because they are. Well, that's the whole point. We know they are.
Because at this point, I'm protecting my life and I'm protecting my family's life. Now it's over. Now you got to say, well, why did you do this? Now you got to talk to the kid's mental. What made you want to do this? Was it the OGs? Was it you thought you could get fast money? Now you understanding what you did. Some of these kids that do this stupid ish, they might be the next, who knows?
Listen, I believe in correction, but if you don't have at least the threat of a harsh sentence, these kids are going to be encouraged to continue to do these crimes. They'll be like, just do it, you know what I mean? Go do a couple of years, come home, do the same stuff again.
Let's go to the phone lines. Hello, who's this?
Tanisha.
Hey, Tanisha. Talk to us. What's your thought?
Good morning, everybody. It's my first time getting through.
Good morning.
So I'm a criminal justice major and a juvenile studies minor, and people always think that harsh punishment is the key, but these kids are coming from troubled backgrounds. They need rehabilitation. They need treatment. We need to know what the root problem is versus just put everybody in jail, give them 25 years. So I think, giving them so much time as a child, their brain is not fully developed. They don't fully understand the consequences, what happens when you break in. You could kill somebody. So they need to be taught a different way, because if this is all they know, this is all they're going to do.
Listen, I agree with you. That's why I said you got to provide more resources for the youth. But the reality is, all of us say this until it's us. Until it's you in your home, then your whole mindset will change.
I've been through it before. Somebody was actually shooting at me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Where
somebody tried to
carjack
carjack
you 3-4 times. I got away. They got caught. It was a younger kid from Newark, New Jersey. Now, he got 7 years. 7 years. Some people was like he should have got more, but he was a stupid kid. He thought he was gonna scare me. He thought he could shoot out my tires.
And thank God you're alive.
And thank God I'm alive. Yeah.
Thank God you're alive.
I think we all know people who have done stuff in their youth that was really dumb, went to jail, and they're a much better person.
But Envy, you once again, you got to stop contradicting yourself.
Why?
Because you already said you'll kill the kids if you get the opportunity yourself.
I'm saying, don't get it twisted.
So, he
would defend. I think he's saying he would defend himself.
Myself, just like that man in that car.
But
if I would have had my hammer on me and it would have been a state where I could carry, I would have shot back.
So I want you to think about this. I'm with you, but I want you to think about this. Everybody who this has happened to feels exactly like how you feel right now. They was like, I want these people prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law because they violated me.
Right.
Like this is your house.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
But when you find out that they're 16 to 17, you feel a little something like them. They're just a stupid kid.
Maybe.
Hello?
Hello?
Hey, what's your thoughts, bro?
Hey, DJ Envy, I really feel like you more right. I feel a little bit like Charlamagne right, but just speaking from personal experience, like when I was younger, I had did some really stupid stuff similar to this. Like really stupid. But I got away with it, you know what I'm saying? And it was, I only really did it because I was young and I was dumb and like, I wanted to show my guys that I would do it, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But the whole time I'm like, man, I ain't really feeling this, you know what I'm saying? But I did it anyway just to show them like, I'm about that, you know? But when it was all said and done and I really got to reflecting, I was like, yo, that could have went crazy. I could have got killed. I could be locked up still.
That's right.
So I ended up straightening my life out. Now that was like 10, 15 years ago. I'm a grown man now, and I wouldn't even consider doing something like that. So when you're a kid and you stupid, I agree with you on that note. Like, maybe the punishment shouldn't be so harsh. But to Charlamagne's point, sometimes when people get away with doing stuff over and over, they're going to keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? Because they like, oh, yeah, well, last time that worked. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to just keep doing it, and then somebody will get hurt. So maybe the punishment should be harsh in that sense, too. So right. It's kind of complicated.
What about and we talk about these kids, what's the thing in Jersey, Jersey and New York, the bail reform?
The bail reform, yeah. So what they've been saying is a lot of people that have been doing these home invasions or robbing houses or even robbing cars, that because of bail reform now is when the police lock them up, next day they back out. Mm-hmm. And what they're doing is they're back to stealing cars. Like a lot of people they find out that are breaking into these houses, and a lot of people that are actually stealing these cars are numerous offenders. So they're doing this 4 or 5 times, but because of this new bail reform, the cops can't hold them in jail. So these kids come out, and because they get no punishment, they're back out there doing it. And for a 17-year-old kid, 18-year-old kid, you steal a car, you're selling that car for $3 to $10 grand. That's right. That's everything for you. And then they're giving it to the big homie who's selling that car for 30, 40, 50 grand or 100 grand. And we're seeing that a lot. But
I agree with everybody. Yes, you have to provide more resources for the youth. We got to provide more opportunity, for the youth. But there's a reason that your parents, at least with men, they tell us. My daddy was telling me since I was a kid, the consequences of these kind of actions.
And some people don't have parents in their lives that are telling them things like that.
But even if you don't have parents, you got eyes, you got ears. Like, you see these kids getting 30,
it's like kind of your environment,
years.
who you grow up around, what you see other people around you doing, you get influence. And I think ideally we would want to see change in these kids, because maybe not 25 years, but maybe you go to jail for 5 years, you learn your lesson, you come out, become a better citizen.
All right. Well, what's the moral of the story, guys?
The moral of the story, what I said earlier for me, is just like, yes, you got to provide, more resources for the youth, more opportunity for youth. That's number one. But for those who choose to still commit those crimes, even though they have more than enough examples to see that just does not work out the way you think it's going to work out, you got to at least make an example out of them. You got to at least threaten them with crazy time. Because kicking in somebody's door, knowing a family is in there, and you got guns, that's a different type of premeditated evil, bro.
Yeah, I get it. And I will also say this is I really feel like a lot of these bail reforms, we have to straighten it out. Because if these kids are getting locked up and they're coming out the next day and they're doing the same thing a day later.
And you hearing these stories.
Right.
You're like, yo, they got locked up, but came out a week later, they did the same exact crime.
How about this, right? And I'll tell you before we leave. They stole my wife's car about 2 months ago, right? When they stole my wife's car, when we called the police, we got the car back. When we called the police knew exactly who took it. It was like, oh, it's the same gang. Let me go to his Instagram. And
That's
on
crazy.
his Instagram, he posted a picture in the car.
That's crazy.
They knew exactly what it was. But they couldn't go get him because they were like, we can't prove that that's your car.
That's
because
crazy.
that's kind of like racism to say that this kid can't afford that type of car. So we actually have to catch him in the car. We got the car back, but that's what it is. And they arrested him. He got out the next day, and he's back stealing cars again.
And another problem is the justice system, because there's no real correction. They call these places correctional facilities, but they're not really correcting these people when they go.
Not at all.
You know what I mean? So the only thing I can think is provide resources for these kids early and scare the hell out of them, threaten the hell out of them with some really wild, prison time, and hopefully. That keeps them from preventing crimes.
All right.
Keeps them from doing crimes, committing crimes.
We got rumors on the way, Yee?
Yes, Beyonce has unveiled her full track list for her new album, Renaissance.
All right, we'll get into that next. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. Now, if you just joined us, we're talking about these kids in Atlanta that got arrested for home invasion. What's the story, Yeezy?
Yeah, so Marlo Hampton was talking about this, and her house was one of the homes broken into. But these 4 people have been arrested so far. They're tied to what they're saying 15 different home invasions, and they're also looking for a 33-year-old man, they said, who was the ringleader of this.
Now, like I said, do I feel like they should get time? Absolutely. But my whole thing is when they're young kids, when they're 16 or 17 or 18, we all do stupid things at that age. And I don't want to see a 17-year-old kid or 18-year-old kid get 25 years to life. Now, if they kill somebody, that's something different, because we make a lot of stupid decisions. I did a lot of stupid things that if I'd have got caught, or if somebody didn't help me or whatever it may have been, I might have been in jail for a long time.
All of that is true, Envy, but you contradict yourself because you said as soon as these kids come in your house, you're going to blow their brains off.
Anybody come to my house, I'm not gonna check to see if
Okay, then.
But I'm not gonna be like, hey,
that's
you
my
a teen?
point.
You a teen? Oh, you a teen? I ain't gonna let you know.
I think it's
my point.
a case-by-case basis. Some of these people might have been doing this for a long time, been arrested, have criminal records. Now, if it's a 17-year-old kid that this is their first time getting in trouble for something, and, but I will say this is 15 different cases that they're saying that they're investigating that they might be tied to. So that's a lot. So that's very risky. But I will say if they're young, they don't have a record, I think you have to look at each individual.
You say that, but what if it's their first time committing a crime and it's a home invasion and they end up, tying up some young kid or tying up somebody's grandma and pistol whipping them? It's
Well, that's more than just a home invasion. That's more charges.
I feel it, though.
But if you run up in somebody's house with guns, you're not going there for nothing nice. That's the thing that's different about these. So I think when you think home invasions, you're thinking it's just a burglary, it's just breaking and entering. It's like, no, you're kicking in somebody's door, knowing that there's a family in there, you got guns. What else are you there for other than something like really different type of premeditated evil?
I got you. Hello, who's this?
Yo, what's up? What's up? This Matt from Atlanta.
What's up, brother? What's going on?
Man, I was going to say, you got kids, so specifically, you can't really just give them like no full 25 to life. They got to get at least like maybe 5 to 10 at the most, because once you do a little time for a fact, it's going to make you a break. No cap.
See, I agree. I think kids, you give them a little less time. If they over a certain age, then you lock them up 25 years because you know what you're doing. But some of these kids are 17 years old. They're OGs like, yo, let's go get this quick little money. It's quick. We ain't going to get caught. We just going to steal some bread. And I get it. It sounds tempting. You do something stupid. But what I want to see a 17-year-old go to jail for 25 years, I wouldn't want to see
Depends what they did.
It depends what they did.
Depends what they did.
You give them about 5. You give them about 5. That's like, what, 22, 23, I think, off the top of the head. You know what I'm saying? Like, look. That's gonna show him a little bit like when he get out, he's gonna be like, I need to be a man to step up.
I would hope so.
Woman to step up.
But you gotta at least present these really harsh sentences to make people think about it. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason that, we don't just go out there and commit crimes every day because you're thinking about it. You're like, if I know if I do this, it's gonna lead to this.
Hello, who's this?
Yo, it's Nicole.
Hey, Nicole.
Peace,
Talk to
Nicole.
us, Nicole. What's your thoughts, mama?
So I agree with Charlamagne. Maybe not 25 years, but like 15 to 20, because you can't play it on that kids going to be kids. They're going to make dumb decisions because they're going to grow up and be adults one day. And then you're going to have adults running around doing home invasions, and then what?
That's right.
No, I mean, I do think the kids should get time. I'm not saying kids should just walk free and get my high
He's
five.
saying not 25 years.
I just think 25 is a long time for a kid.
do we all know people that have gone to jail at a young age and actually been rehabilitated? And
Yes.
help? Yes.
A lot.
I know a few.
Right. So I don't think you should assume that somebody makes a decision and they're going to turn into an adult doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they still had to go to jail and do some
Right.
time.
I'm not saying nobody should go to jail, but we're saying not 25 years.
And listen,
if you're like 17 years old, that's your everything.
Listen, the reality is...
But think about if the person whose house you go into, if they kill
That's
you,
right.
now you dead. And
Well, that's not that's murder. That's something else.
But that's the whole point of a home invasion. Like, to me,
Thank you,
if you
Mama.
run up in somebody's house with a gun, to me, you could potentially do all of those things, and all of that should be accounted for
No,
in
you're
court.
right. But I also know a lot of stupid kids that feel like my intention is not to hurt somebody. My intention is to scare them. Like, because most people, when they see a gun, they get scared. They get messed stuff, and we never have to shoot. We see it in movies all the time. We hear the stories all the time. Oh, we weren't intending on shooting anybody. We just wanted to scare them.
What
and
that mean?
sometimes it goes left. And
Or
you
we
do
thought
it.
nobody was home. We were trying to break in.
What that mean, though?
Listen, it's wrong.
Then
Wrong is
you
wrong.
still got to deal with the consequences of your
definitely why I got my
actions.
pistol,
That's right. You made a poor choice. You still got to deal with the consequences of that poor choice. That's why my dad used to always tell me trouble is easy to get into and hard to get out of.
That's a fact.
That's the reason you have to think about these choices before you make them.
800-585-1051. We were talking about these kids that just got picked up in Atlanta for doing home invasions. We were talking about time. I feel like if they're younger teens, 16, 17, 18, I think 25 years is a lot. Maybe 12, maybe 7, maybe 10, just to get them on the right way. 25 years, you're taking a majority of their life, and we've all done stupid things to make mistakes. So what are your thoughts? Let's talk about it.
I think when you say stupid things to make mistakes, it's the difference between like taking your mom's car to go to McDonald's. That's stupid. You know what I mean? Or having a party at your house.
Bro, but you did some stuff that could have got you locked up for a long time.
I did criminal things.
Me too.
You know what I mean?
But now look at you now. You've evolved.
No,
and you're encouraging people in the positive way and changing lives.
by the grace
I'm
of God,
changing
by the
lives.
grace of God, the first charge I ever got, luckily nobody got hit. when a shot was fired. That's just by the grace of God. If somebody would have got hit, my dumb ass would have been in jail, still probably in jail in South Carolina right now, just coming home.
Well, you'd have loved it.
Man, shut up. See what I'm saying? But by the way, you're contradicting yourself every time you have this conversation because you said you would kill one of these little boys if they came in your house.
I'd kill anybody that come in my house.
Man, shut up, man.
I don't care what they
Why
are.
are we even having this conversation?
They could be male, female. They can identify as a bear. It don't matter what you are. You come into my house.
So you want the judicial system to have grace, but ain't no grace in the Casey house.
Oh, am I gonna ask? You come in my house? Yes. I'm firing.
I'm with you.
Hey.
I'm with you.
If my pops walk in unannounced, sorry, Dad. Like, I'm firing. Like, it is what it is. Don't come in my house. I'm scared. I'm shooting everybody. I got 6 kids.
Damn.
And then if you get past Chuck, then I'm really scared.
Who is Chuck?
My dog.
Ain't nobody scared of that punk-ass dog.
Why you keep playing with that punk-ass dog?
That punk-ass dog.
You keep playing with that dog. 800-585-1051. What are your thoughts? Call us now. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.